Imagine waking up to darkness in the middle of summer, snow falling in June, crops withering under frost in July, starving families, desperate migrations, riots over food. Now imagine all of that being caused by a volcano thousands of miles away. This is the story of Mount Tambora, a monstrous eruption more powerful than Krakatoa, more devastating than Vesuvius, and more globally disruptive than Etna. In 1815, Tambora didn't just erupt, it detonated with the force of 170,000 Hiroshima bombs, creating the loudest sound in recorded history and triggering the year without a summer. Welcome to Undercover History Updates, where today we unearth the forgotten disaster that reshaped the planet and very nearly shattered civilization. Mount Tambora is located on Sumbawa Island in modern-day Indonesia. It sits atop the highly active Ring of Fire, a zone of volcanic activity that circles the Pacific Ocean. Before 1815, Tambora stood over 4,300 meters, 14,100 feet tall, one of the highest peaks in the region. But deep beneath its slopes, pressure was building. For centuries, molten rock and gas had been rising, trapped in a sealed magma chamber. The stage was set for a cataclysm. On April 5th, 1815, Tambora stirred. It began with a series of massive explosions, felt hundreds of kilometers away. Locals reported the ground shaking and skies turning black, but that was just the beginning. On April 10th, the mountain blew itself apart. A colossal column of ash and gas shot over 40 kilometers into the sky, well into the stratosphere. Pyroclastic flows rushed down the slopes at supersonic speeds, annihilating everything in their path. Entire villages were incinerated. Witnesses on nearby islands said the explosion sounded like cannon fire or naval bombardment. The noise was heard as far away as Sumatra, over 2,000 kilometers distant. The immediate death toll from the eruption was catastrophic. Around 12,000 people were killed by the explosion, pyroclastic flows, and falling ash. But the true horror came after. The eruption spewed over 150 cubic kilometers of ash, rock, and gas into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight and disrupting global climate. Sulfur dioxide combined with water vapor to form a reflective aerosol layer in the stratosphere. In the months and years that followed, this invisible shroud would dim the sun across the northern hemisphere. Crops failed, livestock died, famine spread. By some estimates, up to 100,000 people perished in the years after Tambora, most from starvation and disease. In 1816, just 1 year after Tambora erupted, the world experienced the infamous year without a summer. In the United States, snow fell in June, frost struck in July and August, rivers froze in Pennsylvania in the middle of summer, crops were wiped out from New England to China. In Europe, skies were permanently overcast, food prices skyrocketed. Famine led to riots in France, Switzerland, and Germany. Desperate farmers ate seed grain, others migrated in search of survival. Even Lord Byron, exiled in Switzerland, penned dark poetry about the sunless skies. His friend, Mary Shelley, inspired by the eerie gloom, began writing a tale that would become Frankenstein. All of this because of a volcano no one in Europe had even heard of. You've probably heard of Krakatoa, the 1883 eruption that famously destroyed itself and caused tsunamis across the Indian Ocean. But here's the thing, Tambora was 10 times more powerful. Krakatoa's eruption released about 20 cubic kilometers of material. Tambora unleashed over 150. It ranks a 7 on the Volcanic Explosivity Index, VEI, just one level below the maximum. In terms of energy released, sound produced, and long-term climate effects, Tambora is unmatched in recorded human history. The global consequences of Tambora's eruption are still being studied. Some historians link the food shortages it caused to mass migrations in America and Europe, the rise of new religious movements like Mormonism as people sought meaning in the chaos, changes in art and literature influenced by darkened skies and suffering. Tambora also helped advance climate science. The strange weather patterns prompted early studies into the relationship between volcanoes and global temperatures, a field that has become even more important today. For over a century, Tambora's story remained forgotten, overshadowed by Krakatoa. But in recent decades, scientists and archaeologists have unearthed evidence of the lost kingdom buried beneath its ash. The village of Tambora, a once thriving society frozen in time like a tropical Pompeii. Skeletons lie in place, homes preserved mid-collapse. Tools, pottery, and jewelry offer clues to a vibrant culture wiped out in hours. This archaeological dig has revived interest in on Tambora and reminded us just how fragile civilization can be. Mount Tambora wasn't just a volcano, it was a world-altering event. It proved that nature doesn't need a war or a plague to disrupt humanity. Just one mountain at the wrong time can change the course of history. And in an age of global climate concerns and rising geological instability, Tambora's lesson feels more relevant than ever. We are not in control, so the next time you enjoy a warm summer day, remember there was once a year when summer never came, and it all started with a rumble in Indonesia. If you found this hidden history captivating, make sure to like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell for more deep dives from undercover history updates. See you in the next episode where the past is never truly buried.